gazed at her, his expression a mixture of confusion and panic. "This is a little... I don't know what to say. My mommy said to come look at your bathroom." Esther huffed out a short and impatient breath. "Enough about the bathroom. I need you to change the baby's diaper. Then we can talk about the bathroom. Is that good enough for you?" He must have sensed her frustration, or maybe he thought it was best to just agree with the crazy Amish woman. "I suppose so." "Good. I'll get a diaper." The stranger looked into the crib as if its contents would jump out and bite him. His mouth immediately relaxed into a dazzling smile. "Well, aren't you sweet?" he said, and it took Esther a fraction of a second to realize he was talking to the bupli and not to her. He reached down and picked up Ivy's baby and cradled her in his arms like Esther had seen good mothers do. The baby immediately stopped crying. Esther caught her bottom lip between her teeth. She probably should have tried that. The stranger cooed and bounced the baby like he knew what he was doing. Did he have his own children? He didn't have a beard, so he probably wasn't married. But for sure and certain, he seemed like the fatherly type. He laid the baby on the twin bed next to the crib. The baby kicked and grinned at him as if he had a whole bag of lollipops in his pocket. "What's her name?" Esther clenched her teeth again as she felt her face get warm. "Winter." It was embarrassing just saying it. The stranger raised an eyebrow. "Winter? I don't know what my Schwester was thinking." But that was nothing new. Esther was never sure what her sister was thinking. She handed him the diaper. He smiled at the baby and talked to her in that soft little voice people always used with buplis. "Well, Winnie, you sure are a beautiful baby." "Winnie," Esther said. "That's much better." The stranger glanced at Esther as if she was a distraction, as if she'd been the one to barge into his house and not the other way around. He slipped the wet diaper off Winnie, making a crackling sound as he pulled the tabs on each side of the diaper. Then he wrapped his fingers around Winter's ankles and lifted her bottom so he could slide the clean diaper under her. In a lightning-quick motion, he fastened the diaper around Winnie and onto itself. It happened too fast. "Could you do that again? I'll watch more closely." Not that she was planning on changing any more diapers. For sure and certain, Ivy was bound to walk back through that door within the hour. He frowned. "How have you managed this long? Your baby must be at least 3 or 4 months old." Esther pushed a long and frustrated sigh from her throat. "She's not my baby." He picked up Winter, being careful of her floppy head, and bobbled her up and down on his hip. "She's cute." Esther glanced at Winter. She had a shock of fine black hair that floated around her head like a patch of ragweed, and even at 4 months, she had dark, well-defined eyebrows that made her look older than she was. Of course she's cute. That doesn't mean I know how to change her diaper. The stranger smoothed his thumb down Winter's soft cheek. The baby studied his face as if he was the most interesting thing she'd seen in her short life. He was definitely the most interesting thing Esther had seen since she'd come to Colorado. "She looks like you," he said. Was that a compliment? Winter was cute and all, but her head was unusually big for her body. Did the stranger think Esther had a big head? "Yeah, I guess she looks like me." Esther's temper flared at the thought of her Schwester's betrayal. "My Schwester showed up last night with Winter. She asked if she could stay for a few days. What could I do? You don't turn away family." "Of course not." Winter was done being fascinated with the stranger. She squirmed in his arms, made a face, and started crying in earnest. "Do you think she needs another diaper change?" Esther said, because out of the two of them, the stranger was the expert. One side of his mouth twitched upward. "I expect she's hungry."